My whole life I've been watching the NBA and basketball in general. As a young fan, I was very interested in learning everything I could about the history of the league, and this led me to interact with various different types of fans of the sport. Some for the worst, and some for the better. In my time interacting with the NBA fanbase, I met many other cool people learning about the NBA also. But as you can tell, I met a significant number of straight up cornballs. Now to speak about some in particular, some of the worst interactions I've had, let's talk about one of the most despicable social media platforms on the internet, with that obviously being Twitter. Now if you've had the absolute displeasure of going on Twitter after any significant NBA game, I pray and hope you only see the funny stuff and don't open the replies, because my god, if you do, you're gonna have to run to that cell phone provider you have to replace your goddamn phone. Because me personally, I know I hate seeing copy and paste like this. See, the first time I saw this, I thought it was very funny, to be honest. You know, talking shit about a player after a bad performance is a little humorous in my eyes. But when people spam it after every single game, it gets so annoying. It's always the same accounts too, and it's in every single reply. They're all like vultures looking for scraps of Twitter likes that haven't been consumed yet, and it pisses me off. Like, I can't even describe how much I writhe in agony after reading these copy and paste. Like, how do they even find the time in their day to get these copy and paste under every significantly big Twitter page in such a short amount of time? Well, it's probably because they have no life, so I kind of answered my own question, but still, man, please get some help and hop off that, buddy. Now to talk about the exact opposite type of fans that are on the internet a lot, I want to say my piece on a certain group of basketball fans with a short anecdote. An anecdote just means a short story, but I want to sound professional. So let's set the scene for the story. And all of this is completely true, by the way. So I was at a family function for my cousin's graduation last year, and it was around the time of the NBA Finals. So me and my cousins were discussing basketball, as you know, people usually do around that time of year. Unfortunately, I forgot the setting and uttered the unforbidden name. What I said was, I think LeBron, and I didn't even get to finish the sentence. Before my thought could be completed, my uncle instantly teleported behind me and pinned me against the wall, strangling me, before finally saying, LeBron wouldn't last in the 90s. He flops too much and doesn't have the killer mentality. As my face slowly started losing color and my consciousness faded, I passed out, and all I could hear was, MJ's a GOAT. Don't bring up that nonsense again, young blood. I woke up in my room, now scattered with MJ posters, in my bed with MJ sheets, and me in Michael Jeffrey Jordan pajamas. I was looking like if Cash Nasty had a reverse flash. It was getting disgusting. Needless to say, I never uttered the word LeBron in front of old heads ever again, in fear of my life coming to an abrupt end before I was able to sit courtside at a Kings game. Anyways, if you haven't been able to pick up what I've been putting down, I'm going to be talking about old heads for this next part. Now, a lot of the times I can't blame old heads for speaking the way they do, because obviously for them it's nostalgia driving all the delusion and glazing they do to older players, but sometimes it's so unwarranted. Like, genuinely, I will never understand how sometimes I'll see people on the internet glazing Wilt Chamberlain, talking about how great he was and how he's several times better than who played today or whatever. Buddy, you are not 80 years old. I get you're an old head, but you did not witness him play. Why are we on this tip? You're doing the same thing everyone else does with players in the 60s. You look at the box scores and season stats. And to be honest, even though this is very crazy, this isn't even the worst part about old heads' delusions. The old head mentality has spread to the damn NBA players themselves who played in that time, like Rasheed Wallace. Rasheed Wallace played from 1995 to 2013, but went on a podcast and said this:
a beast was soft. LeBron James.
In my era, he probably would have done good, because with his physical stature, with him being a little bit bigger than a majority of the rest. So he probably would have held his own, but I don't think he would have been as successful as he is now.
Now, if you're wondering why that sounds a little weird, it's because it is. Because when Rasheed Wallace was at his best in the league, LeBron was dominating on another level. Way better than Rasheed Wallace. Rasheed Wallace played 7 years before LeBron and failed to realize that they essentially played in the same time frame and the same era. And every step of the way, LeBron dominated. Now, it sounds like I'm doing a lot of LeBron glazing right now, which, to be fair, I usually am in these videos, but I'm really just saying all this to prove a point, that the 90s wasn't that insane like these old heads describe. They try to make it sound like playing a game in the 90s was comparable to World War I trench warfare and everybody was fighting for their lives out there on the court. Hey buddy, y'all need to calm down and take your vitamins and take a nap. 90s ball was not that deep. I think the only old head that I actually kind of respect is Chilltown on TikTok, because he actually be giving some good takes. But I think he ranks Kobe a little too high. So yeah, if you watch him, that's my opinion on him. Speaking of Chilltown, watch this video, I beg. Anyways, I've been ranting a little too long about old heads, and I think it's time to move on to the next topic. So, let's get into it. Now, just like the first group of NBA fans I spoke about, the ones that spam the copy and paste, these fans also tend to congregate on the worst social media platform known as Twitter. But that isn't the only place they're at. What I'd like to talk about next are these NBA fan accounts. Now, on the surface level, having a fan page in the normal sense isn't bad at all. In fact, some of my favorite pages on Instagram and Twitter are fan accounts because they post stats and they say how these players are going to do and just insightful stuff, and they just really show love for the game of basketball. It's great. The fan accounts I have a problem with are the ones that have cornball names like Jason Tatum's left nutsack and just glaze every single thing they do under every post, all for the sake of being annoying. They don't even provide thoughtful analysis or anything funny at all. They just do tricks on the players they like with absolutely zero shame in their game. They lack all of the redeeming qualities of the actual funny posts you'll see about a player or team, and solely exist just to piss people off. Which again, realistically, is the whole point of them existing. You know, what are you going to do about it? But it's still annoying. And now that brings me to my last NBA fan base, because I said the word annoying. We're going to talk about Lakers fans. Now, I'd like to make this part brief, since in this video I really didn't want to go into NBA fan bases, but the Lakers fan base couldn't be excluded, because even the Lakers fans themselves know just how delusional they really are. It seems every day that I scroll on a social media platform, I see a new NBA superstar in a Lakers jersey. These jersey swaps are getting out of hand. The next thing I know, I'm gonna see Obama in a damn Lakers jersey on my timeline. Like, an NBA superstar could simply say the word Laker, and it's like a hive mind. Everyone's head thinks in the same way. They're going to the Lakers. They're going to the Lakers. They want to go to the Lakers. Buddy, they just played the Lakers last night, and he's talking about how good of a game it was. There's nothing more there. Stop with the jersey swaps. Another thing I don't like about Lakers fans is how they try to act like they're really going through the mud every single year. Like they don't have one of the most decadent franchises in history, if not the most decadent. Every single year, besides like the mid-2010s, the Lakers were competing for titles on end. It just never stops. And the second I thought it was finally going to stop, they signed LeBron in free agency. It just doesn't stop. It keeps going. Yet, on my timeline, all I see is them complaining. Now, I'm not going to say this is all Lakers fans, because obviously it's probably just a loud majority. But, again, I just want to make it known that I don't like Lakers fans, most of the time at least. But they don't compare to Boston Celtics and Utah Jazz fans in the slightest. And if you know, you know. Now finally, I just want to let it be known that don't let me stop you from being a fan. If you're going to be a fan, do it. Just don't be annoying, because that's kind of what I'm talking about in this video. But honestly, it's really not that serious. I'm just poking fun. But if you're going to be a fan, be a proud fan. You know, there's no reason to hide it. If you really like a team or a player, show your love for it, because hiding's not going to get you anywhere. So, like usual, I'd like to end with a little story and message. I was like a very little kid. I'm talking like elementary school. I wasn't a very social or outgoing person at all. But in one of my classes, someone walked in with a Warrior shirt. Now, I forgot if it was like a jersey or something, but I know it's something Warriors related. And being a socially awkward kid, I really didn't want to say anything to them, even though I had the same interest of loving basketball and the NBA like they do. But something that day just snapped at me, and I decided to talk to them about basketball. And what started out as a simple conversation that day out of my comfort zone turned into a lifelong friendship. All because I decided to say one word. So with that, step out of your comfort zone. Stop limiting yourself. Because out of your comfort zone, you can do great things. If there's something you really want to do and you're not sure of it, just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? Rejection and failure is just a part of life. And so is success. You only have one life, so go for it. Keep trying and do your best. And that's all you can really ask for. Because I know if you really want something, you're going to go and get it. Because you're going to try your best. That's all it really takes.